So, so with the Connect sensor, it's tracking me right now. I can walk up to the car, to the left around the car. There's a little tutorial screen, kind of just telling the player, hey, you know, in your living room, or your front room, or your bedroom, this is kind of the play space that you can play in. But we also wanted to design it for, you know, not everyone's got giant, you know, rooms like we have to test it in. So you can actually lean too. So if you just sit and lean, you can actually rotate around the car. So that was the basics. That was one of the first things we built was, you know, how do you just navigate basically around the car? But we wanted to do so much more. So when you go up through, kind of duck down, and lean, kind of look at some of the finer details of this car. And I'll talk a little bit too about these car models themselves. The amount of detail that we put into it, it's ridiculous. I mean, we use stuff like this for movies and for, you know, for CG renders and stuff. But we're actually doing it here. So we had the basic premise down of walking around the car, navigating around it, but we wanted obviously to do so much more. So when I raise my hand, you see these little dots, we call them points of interest. You can actually grab on and do different things. So you can go through and open up, you know, in a Ferrari, it's basically the trunk, the boot. Doors too. So again, just grabbing, being able to open. But more than just that, being able to open the trunk, we wanted people to be able to go inside. So just walking up towards it, it's going to take you inside. So in here, just like on the outside, we've got full control. I can really sit and, you know, again, they had this 458 at E3 last year. This is still the closest I've been with it. You know, I wasn't able to sit in it. You know, I could sit behind the velvet rope that they had. So it's almost like a privilege to be able to sit and see, you know, the Manatino dial, all the crazy buttons that they have. Kind of the basic concept of it. I'm going to choose a different car, and I'm going to show you how our points of interest work, and also how they tie into our relationship with the Top Gear. So this is, you know, our little slice of what we're going to be showing at E3. Right now we've only got 3 cars. Again, we wanted to choose cars that, not just supercars, we have them because they're supercars, but each car is telling a unique story. It's got a unique interaction. It's basically like its own level. So when you sit and you're running your hand over it, the pins are totally different. They do different things. So let me grab the hand. Such a crazy
This is the 2002 Ferrari Enzo.
So again, after we did our initial test with the 458, we just were like, oh, I want to do this car, I want to do this car, and you know, this car has the gull-wing doors, and this has scissor doors, and you know, this one has this retractable roof, and our car list just started to expand, and as we started to build it, it was visually really cool, the things that we were coming across, but as we started to scratch the surface and do our research on how these cars were made, how many were made, who actually owns these in real life, we learned a ton, and it's fascinating stuff, right? There's the technical 0 to 60, you know, basically the the tire size, but there's a lot of these things that are infotainment, right? They're telling you things that you wouldn't normally know. So, so one of our basic point of interest you'll see on the majority of cars is wheels, tires.
The Ferrari Enzo is equipped with 19-inch single-bolt aluminum alloy wheels and carbon ceramic disc brakes.
So, you know, I really want to hit this home that this is happening in real time. That's not a movie. I'll go through and open the door. We'll run that one again just to let you see. So again, being able to go through, open the doors, paint the cars themselves.
The Ferrari
really see this. Again, this is done in real time. We're not loading any movies.
Aluminum alloy wheels
so
and carbon ceramic.
We brought back Peter Egan, who did some voiceover for us in version 3, and it was awesome because this time especially we were just letting Peter, almost when you go through a museum or you're looking at works of art in a gallery and you've got that little phone thing and the guy's sitting there with you kind of explaining it to you. We wanted that kind of feel, not someone who's, you know, very technical, very dry. We just wanted to say, hey, look, this is we're telling you why this is so special. And that led us to our relationship with Top Gear. So, I mean, I hope you guys are all familiar with the Top Gear show. Obviously, they do political commentary, their satire's awesome, but they just know cars, right? And they can talk to you in a way that doesn't talk down to you. And again, when we sat down with our car list and we were having Jeremy read through, he had some awesome stories, right? Great stories. And to be able to capture those has been just awesome. So I'll run through one of them, and every car will have one of these. I'll run through.
In Italy, you don't take the name of the father in vain. So when Ferrari decided to call this car the Enzo, you knew they had something special in mind. Something that would take supercars onto another level of speed, of handling, of fury. Such fury that after 3 full-bore standing starts, you have to send the car back to Italy for a new clutch. The Ferrari Enzo marked the point at which supercars became like modern fighter jets, demanding complicated electronics to keep them under control. It's computers that keep its 6-litre, 660 brake horsepower V12 and flappy paddle gear shift on speaking terms. And its F1 style adjustable suspension on an even footing. The result is a car that's faster around Ferrari's test track than all but their most recent Formula One cars. The Enzo's V12 went on to even greater things in the insane FXX and the psychotic 599 GTO, both cars that need even more men with laptops to keep them under control. But for Ferrari, the Enzo was Genesis. They only made 399 of them, and then the factory built a 400th for a very particular customer, the Pope. That's how special you have to be to have one.
So again, some of the other cars we're not showing, there's some awesome stories that, you know, that the Pope one. I mean, that's something that I probably wouldn't be able to, you know, unless I did some hardcore research, be able to know. To be able to bring that up has been awesome. The other one, is this the Save the Enzos? Is it on this side?
I think so.
Okay, there's some other great ones that are just... fire this one
One obvious key to winning races is to avoid overheating. Inlets in the Enzo's nose cone feed cold air to the engine's radiators, while side intakes cool transmission and engine oil temperatures.
Let's try the next one.
Ferrari turned to renowned design firm Pininfarina.
Again, there's so many of these. It's a hard, you know, again, there's so many of these pins. I'll show you how to paint it and we'll get the engine as well. But again, even us as we play, it's like, oh, which one is this one? Which one is this one? It's re-exploring and finding out about the car each time. So let me, I'll show you another cool thing. So again, we talked a little bit about the active aero stuff. Of actually being able to see the active aero as it goes up and comes down. And so I've opened the engine bay as well. So we didn't want to sit back. We really wanted to show people the amount of detail, again, that we built for these cars. It's crazy, right? Again, you know, talk about using these in movies and commercials, the amount of what we have, $1 million per car, it's ridiculous.
This level of detail in every car in the game?
Pretty much. The interiors have a little bit more. So the vast majority of cars that we have in this experience are built out a little bit more, since you're not going to be on the track and opening the trunk and all that stuff. So we paid a little bit more attention to the interiors for the cars we take in cars. So that being said, actually, why don't I grab the? I'll show you the California. And I'll take it on track.
You don't want to put a curtain.
So another thing I want to mention too is, I guess I'll show you the cars here, but when we do ship, we're building unique experiences for each car that's not just a car experience, but actually an on-track experience. So we'll have a few cars that are unlocked by default, you can go through and explore, but the remainder of the cars, you will actually have to kind of complete a challenge on track with that car before you can unlock it on the showroom. So in a sense, it's this own unique contained mode. You're going to see these cars go, oh, that's an awesome car. Okay, what do I have to do for this challenge? It's not just a race, but there's a bunch of new modes we're not announcing now that they're going to be tied into that. That again, fun mini games that you can do and try to beat a target, you know, to unlock that car in the showroom.
This is the 2009 Ferrari California.
So not the fastest Ferrari. But, I mean, one of the main reasons why we chose this car was for its awesome convertible. And being able to sit and watch this in real time. Like, I've seen these on YouTube. I've never actually been able to see these in real life. So the Enzo was kind of a nice tour by Jeremy. I'll show you the California tour. He's not quite much of a fan, but still.
You might think Ferraris should be mid-engined, and this one isn't. You might think Ferraris should have V12s, and this one doesn't. It's called the California, and you have to ask, what's the point of it? Certainly, it's not very pretty. And it has literally the worst built-in telephone of any car in the world. Unless, of course, you've always wanted to spend your life accidentally phoning everyone you know whose name starts with A. But on the plus side, it's got a folding metal roof, it's reasonably nice to drive, and it means Ferrari can take money from people who might previously have bought a Mercedes SL, which means they can afford to develop proper, wonderful supercars like the 458. So, you see, the California does have a point, after all.